Hi everybody, it's Dee Slater with CreateWithD.com for Split Coast Stampers, and today we're going to make a pop-out explosion card. When you take off the belly band and open it up, you have a little pop-out explosion of some more paper and a sentiment. So let's get started making this really cute interactive card. The measurements that we're going to need are the following. For the card base, we're going to need a 4 1/4 by 9 1/2 piece of Whisper White. We're going to need for the pop-out mechanism, piece of Whisper White cut at 6 by 6. 3 pieces of designer series paper that will go on the outside and the inside of the card, cut at 4 1/4 by 4 1/2. 2 pieces of coordinating designer paper, cut at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and a strip of cardstock for the belly band, cut at 1 by 9 1/2. So with our card base, we will score and fold it in half so that you end up with a 4 1/4 by 4 1/2 card base. And what we want to do is, with multi-purpose glue, go ahead and adhere the card front designer series paper as well as the coordinating inside of our card base. Now that we have our inside of our card and the outside of our card decorated, it's time to make the pop-out mechanism. And again, we start with a piece of 6 by 6 Whisper White. And what we want to do is go ahead and fold it in half. And this is something that I just, finger press it. It just is faster for me to do this, and it actually works just as well. And so I folded it in half one direction, turned it, and folded in the other direction. So when you open it up, you've got a crisscross. Then we're going to fold on the diagonal, bringing the points together, and I just make sure that the edge of it are lining up the sides, excuse me, and then I just take my finger and come right down the center and finger press it up and over, finger press it up and over. And then what we get is this diagonal here, and that's going to be what we need to make the pop out. So we don't want to do anything with the squares that do not have the diagonal on it. The squares that do have the diagonal, we want to go ahead and press that fold inward. And then that's going to collapse it down like this. And again, we just want to finger press it and get that point. And at this point, if you want to, you can grab your bone folder and give it a good crease. And then when you open it up, this is the mechanism that we need. Before we put our mechanism into our card, we want to decorate it and stamp completely before we do that. And so we're going to take our 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 squares of designer series paper, get out our Stampin' Trimmer, and we're going to trim it on the diagonal. And we're going to do that with both pieces. We'll bring our pop-out mechanism back in, and what we're going to do is decorate these diagonals with our cut pieces we just did. And we want to use the alternative sides, the back and front, on those, and we'll glue those down. Now I'm ready to stamp some coordinating images on here. I'm going to use the Cake Soiree stamp set. This is in the 2018 Occasions catalog from Stampin' Up! To do my floral images. And again, just picking up the color of Rich Razzleberry from the designer series paper. And I'm going to use some Old Olive to stamp the leaves. And I'm using the stamp set for the inside petal palette, the stamp sentiment that reads, "Life is so much better with you in it." And do that with Old Olive as well. And stamp that. This is going to be the top part that we see. Too cute. Too cute. And then just stamp a few coordinating images down here as well. Should have done this while I had it in my hand. There we go. Add a few more petals down at the bottom. I'm going to leave this place or this area open. This is where we can write our little note. There we go. So now we have our little pop-up mechanism. Before we put our pop-up mechanism inside the card base, what I want to do is we're going to do a little notching of the corners, because if you don't put this in here just right, you know, you might have a little bit of these wings that extend out. And so in order to take care of that, we just need to bring in the envelope punch board. So with the envelope punch board, what we want to do is we're going to notch out each of these intersections. And so we line it up at the 3-inch mark here and punch. And that's going to give us this little notch. And we turn and do it on all 4 sides. Now when we go to close it, by notching those out, we just make sure that the card base is free and clear of any of the points that might be sticking out, and we don't have to deal with those. So again, we're going to get our multi-purpose glue, and we're going to put down the pop-out mechanism, put it down on our card base one side at a time. And it doesn't matter if you choose to do the top first or the bottom. It's up to you. I like to do the bottom first for some reason. Okay, using multi-purpose glue, or you could use tear and tape or some other strong adhesive. I like using the multi-purpose glue because it gives me just a little bit of wiggle room. All right, so I want to center it right here on the fold line, on our score line. Okay, that looks good. I've got it closed. Perfect. And then I can do the top section. And the reason why I want to do just one at a time is that I can position it the way I want it and then close the top perfectly. You know, then it's right where I want it. So then to do the top, you just simply close the card base. And now when you open it up, you've got your pop out. All right, we just have to make a belly band and we'll be all set. This is an optional thing to the belly band. I added some tear and tape to the center of our 1 by 9.5 piece of cardstock, because what I wanted to do was add another color element in there and bring in some ribbon. So you can just put some ribbon right down the center of it. And then you want to do it before you fold the belly band around. This way it just saves you from doing it afterwards, and when you wrap it, you can do it all in one fell swoop. So then you just want to kind of loosely wrap this and meet it in the center. You don't want to do it too tight because you want the recipient to be able to slip it on and off. And then on one of the ends, on the inside, put a little more tear and tape. And this will be used to close the belly band. And this is the front of the card because we will have a little stamped embellishment that we'll put over the top of it. What I did is use the sentiment from All Things Thanks, stamped in Rich Raspberry. You are amazing. And this is, the layering circles are a 1 3/4 circle punch. The pool party is a 2-inch circle punch. And the layering piece behind it is in Old Olive with the Starburst punch. And we'll finish this card off here real quick. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back just to kind of pop up some things on the belly band here. And actually I want to put the pop-up or the foam dots on the belly band itself so I know right where it's at. You are amazing. We know so many people in our lives that are amazing. And I'm going to take some rhinestones and put a couple on the front. Here. And we're done. So now when we open it up, the recipient takes down the belly band and they have this nice surprise in here. Now, when I stamped, you probably noticed that I had a little halo here. And as we know, rhinestones are wonderful to cover up a lot of different distractions here that we may have boo-booed. So I'm going to bling this up here and distract their eyes that I ever made a little mistake. And so we'll just go ahead and finish that off. You know, we do what we need to do to cover up our boo-boos, right? Oh, and my mistake just made it look that much more pretty. So I hope you like the Pop Out Explosion card, and it's really super easy to make. So I hope you guys all give it a try. And thanks Split Coast for inviting me to do a video for you. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys all like the project. Happy crafting, everybody. Bye-bye.